I'm also officially challenging Crooked Joe.
And that's why I am challenging Woodchuck Coodchuck Berkowitz
to an 18-hole golf match right here.
To a ski race down Devil's Mountain.
Underal's Blue Monster, considered one of the greatest tournament golf courses anywhere in the world, one of the great courses of the world. It will be among the most watched sporting events in history, maybe bigger than the Ryder Cup or even the Masters.
Let's move past the queer people are born this way narrative and emerge into queer people don't have to defend how or why they're queer narrative.
It's time for some more unlearning, and today, 50% of marriages end in divorce. Or do they? Nope. First of all, it's a dumb thing to measure. Until the 1970s, divorce laws were very different, so really, it would have been a measurement of what percentage of couples are trapped in bad situations. Also, it's a dumb statistic because it doesn't take into consideration length, so the couple that held hands while the water came in on the Titanic counts exactly the same as someone who got hit by a bus on their honeymoon. Oh, but also, it doesn't take into consideration overachievers. Some people are really good at getting divorced, and if you stay married forever, you only get to count for one, but if someone gets divorced 5 times, they get to be counted 5 times. But even given all of those caveats to the statistic, no one actually bothered to measure because it would be too hard. The way you'd actually do this is you would track every single marriage that's ever happened, and you'd sort them into 3 buckets: still going, death did us part, and oopsie doodle. And the reason you can't do that is because that's too much data. A group of people put together the statistic, and you might be wondering, did they have a political agenda? Ha ha ha, of course. And what they did was the lazy math. They took the number of people who got married this year and the number of people who divorced this year, and they compared them. And those are obviously dumb numbers because those are mostly not the same people. You're basically saying that 50% of apples end in oranges. And now the craziest part? It's not even 50. If you do their bad math on their made-up numbers, you get 32%. That's the current rate. So we as a society need to split up with the 50-50 myth.
This is America, Lois. Men have always run things, and there have never been any problems whatsoever. And don't say the economy or Iraq or income inequality or racism or Brett Kavanaugh or air pollution or Vietnam or slavery or Watergate or capitalism or Me Too or homelessness or police brutality.
Turns out it wasn't normal. Who would have thought? But on a serious note, why did y'all let me walk around posting egg moments? I was basically begging y'all to just be like, girl, come out. And none of you did that. Y'all had me admitting in 4K 4 years ago that I was trans. And none of you said anything? You're sick. You will be dealt with. But on a serious note, I just want to say to anybody who has been having egg moments, who has been dealing with gender dysphoria for a while, who knows that they're trans and just doesn't feel confident enough, it is never too late to transition. It is never too late to start owning that part of your identity. And it's okay to take your time to figure things out, okay? Hell, 4 years ago, I was basically saying, hey, I'm a trans woman, hey, I'm a trans woman, and being like, no, I'm not. Even though I knew, and I let the world know, I still wasn't ready to take that leap. And if you're in that same boat and you're like, I don't know if I'll ever be able to come out, you will, okay? But only when you're ready to come out. Anyways, I have to go private all my videos from 2020 now.
Are you gonna get your hair done for the event? It's done. Maybe you should straighten. It's done. I just think it would look. It's done. Maybe if you just. It's done. So you're just gonna leave it like that? It's done. It just will look really. It's done. Yes, it's done. Thank you. Thank you.
Who told you that coalition building means you have to like everybody? If I was only interested in building a coalition with people that I like and enjoy being around, that group of people would be fucking small. Because just like statistically speaking, most of y'all are insufferable. But most of y'all are also parts of the working class, which means that we ultimately need to work together. I know, it's really annoying. The goal is for us to get rid of the capitalists so we can all just like be annoying in our own way. But like on a human community level, like we're gonna ride for each other, we're gonna support each other, we're gonna take care of each other. But we don't have to be homies, we don't have to kick it. I'm sorry, lots of y'all ain't cool enough to get into the club, but I'ma still bring y'all with me on this fucking journey to the workers' promised land, okay?
Welcome to British Classics, episode 7, Chicken Tikka Masala.
I don't get all the hate this guy's getting from other Indian people saying, oh, chicken tikka masala is an Indian dish, not a British dish. Like, sure, is it made from South Asian spices? I'll give you that. Does it have masala in the name? Maybe. Did the chef that come up with the dish come from South Asia? Fine. And is chicken tikka in and of itself a dish served in India? Perhaps. But it's a British dish at the end of the day. Like, why would British people take something from another culture or country and claim it as their own?
I'm forming my own cloud here.
I think some people need to be reminded that if Joe Biden is going to announce that he's dropping out of the presidential race, he's not going to do it until a Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, when all of the major news networks across the country have closed the majority of their offices for the weekend. Anyway, happy Friday. In case you missed it, yesterday at the NATO summit, Joe Biden referred to Vladimir Zelensky, the president of Ukraine, as Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, which is, not good. He then held a press conference with the largest news networks in America, who spent the entire hour that they were waiting for him to actually show up to the podium, reminding their audiences of his rapidly declining poll numbers and how the only thing that is on the rise in his party is the number of members who are asking that he step down. And then, in response to the very first question of this press conference, his first off-script appearance since his catastrophic debate performance 2 weeks ago, Joe Biden referred to his Vice President Kamala Harris as Vice President Trump. The man has senators running on the Democratic ticket asking him not to come to their state because they think that his appearance will hurt their election chances. There are multiple Democratic congressional candidates across the country right now running campaigns where their only pitch is telling their voter base that it is extremely clear that Joe Biden will lose this election and the only check on Donald Trump's power will be Congress, so you have to vote for them because we need to work as hard as we can to win both the House and the Senate. I don't know if it will be today or if it will be next Friday, but there is zero path forward where Biden gets to simultaneously stay in the race and claim that he is serious about stopping Donald Trump.
Learn them handmaids outfits. Take them off. Stop wearing them every single time you feel like you want to prove some type of radical point. Throwing them away is not good enough. Burn them. Because the oppression that you are continuously cosplaying, that you're continuously acting as if is far off in the distant future, is very much present, active, and ongoing, and has been for centuries against the Black and brown people we continuously leave out of the dialogue. And you know who I'm talking to, because you don't ever see Black and brown people wearing those. Because y'all, and you know who I'm talking about, like to act like the things in The Handmaid's Tale are events coming down the pipeline and not real events and real things that have happened and are continuing to happen to real people. Like, I recently learned about a Mississippi appendectomy, which is back in the 50s and 60s when they would perform hysterectomies on poor Black women without their knowledge or consent. And it was so frequent, it got its own nickname. Forced sterilization is a thing. Like, we in the United States right now might be talking about reproductive care and having access to, like, the right to delete his fetus or, like, birth control. But 40% of the women in the world didn't have access to that in the first place. Congo is currently the grape capital of the world, and yet many of those women don't have access to medical care afterwards, whether it be for any diseases or for any pregnancies. Women in Palestine are experiencing miscarriages in astronomically high rates, and if they do get to carry their baby to term, they then can't feed them because they do not make enough breast milk to feed their children because because of the forced starvation. Even in the United States, access to antenatal care is absolutely abysmal for many Black, brown, indigenous, disabled, low-income women across the country. These things are happening, and they've been happening, just not to you. So stop cosplaying oppression to make a point that has already been made by the voices you've been ignoring for years, and burn those outfits.
So by now we've all heard about the thin blue line flag for people who are racist, support the police. So I propose a new flag, a flag for our proud American genital inspectors to make sure there are no trannies peeing in restrooms, the thin pink line flag.
Hey white girls, my name's Grace. I just wanted to let you know that I love all of you. Madeleine Albright, Eileen Warnos, Demi Moore. Blondes, I love how your hair, literally the amber waves of grain. It's flaxen like wheat. It's like a wheat color. Shout out to all the white girls that have gone on a natural hair journey lately. No longer will you be called dirty blonde. You are a brunette now. Okay, queen? Own that. Love that. Be that. And most importantly about y'all, like, I love your hair. I love your hair. Bad baby. I love you all. And I love your hair, especially when you get those bangs that stop at mid-forehead. I love that. When you do that, that is just so, like, a woman who is in her power, in her body. It is so beautiful to see. Susan B. Anthony. Kissing Kate Barlow. I love how versatile it is. I love that you can go from the bone straight to the like curly when you put a wand in it, or you let your natural curls show. Margaret Thatcher, Anne Hathaway, the Haktua girl, Meryl Streep. I also love seeing when you guys like, even when your hair is just so versatile. It's so versatile. Like when y'all are really curly, but you flat iron the curls out to make it straight. Like the heat damage of that, but like being able to take something like heat damage and repurpose it so that it is super, like, it's just so versatile.
One of my mutuals made a great point when it comes to people talking about the Holocaust versus slavery. When people bring up the Holocaust, they understand how bad it was. Like in every single minute detail, if you ask someone like how bad was the Holocaust, they'll be able to say in every detail what exactly happened to Jewish people. Justifiably so. But when it comes to slavery, I feel like you guys just don't do it a justice. They used to eat us, bro. They used to eat us. They used to use our skin as furniture. They used to use our hair as insulation for their clothes. They used to castrate us in streets for public display in front of their children. They used to essay black men as a form of intimidation to other black men. Look up what buck breaking is. I'm telling you right now, them books in high school that you used to read about slavery do not do it justice. These people were such sick animals to us. It's so crazy how people just gloss over like, oh yeah, slavery happened. What? I really need y'all to see the severity of how bad slavery was. The same way y'all do the Holocaust.